prefer a bourbon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm a vodka man. I like vodka.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Both are pretty good, actually.
Yeah, bourbon guy.
I actually prefer Team Liquid for this one. Hence,
I would agree.
bourbon.
I don't know, man. After what just happened.
Yeah, but okay, let's have a real objective discussion.
Yes.
Let's get off the VP bandwagon for how cool that game was to watch. If that level 1 Roshan fails, their lanes are crazy weak, except for mid, right? And they don't have any roam potential until their supports get 2, which they were doing a defensive tri-lane, which means that they wouldn't have gotten 2 for a very long time, which means potentially Dendi does a heck of a lot better in his lane. Granted, he played, you know, less than good, at least in the laning phase, you know. I still think that game would have been pretty different. Now, you can say, of course, ifs and buts, right? But still, I think
exactly
a lot of
what
that.
I was going to finish
I was thinking
off your...
ifs and buts. But I was also
Ifs
thinking,
and
you're
buts.
right, if they'd messed up that level 1 Roche, their game looks like a complete pile of tits and it goes to bits.
Goes tits up, right?
It does,
That's like
yeah.
an English thing, right?
Going
Or
tits
goes
up.
pear-shaped.
It does go pear-shaped.
Pear-shaped.
Yeah.
What's
They're
wrong
quite
with
sure.
the shape of a pear?
What does that mean?
They don't know quite, they honestly don't know where it's come from, but
The reference seems a little bit weird.
yeah. Tits up you can get. It's like, whoop,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like, yeah, I get that.
Pear-shaped.
Hey, tits in any direction is fine by me.
Indeed.
But pears,
You don't
No.
want pairs?
just the shape of them.
Yeah.
I
Send
like
a
to
shudder
eat
down
and
every Englishman's
remodel
spine.
them. Okay, so Team Liquid should be turning up with 5 players today. We
Yeah,
hope they will,
hopefully.
because
They've
they're going
got
to need
5.
them to take down Virtus.Pro. TC again, he's for me always been on form. Really looking forward to see how they play, and I believe they should be getting a better draft. VP, it seemed like they're going a little bit risky on their final day of games here, because
They have to.
They
Yeah.
have to.
But if Team Liquid just saw that last game, how do you feel they will approach the draft?
They're going to check Roshan. It doesn't matter what the draft is. They're going to be like, everyone go to the pit now.
They're going to pick Nature's
honestly,
Prophet.
yeah, they've got to ban Profit. I think if VP can't get Profit out of the pool, they're in big trouble, because we've seen Quickfire has been incredible with Profit. Ban the Profit, see how you can do from there, but for God's sake, don't give him the Profit. That's what I think.
He's decent on a lot of other heroes as well, though. What do you think of his hero pool?
But what do you know him for outside of Profit?
No,
I know him for a very good win runner.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
also,
I mean,
and
his
also a great
Windrunner in Darkseer is quite good. I haven't seen his clock as
No,
much.
that was tier 3 qualifiers when he was playing with Mouse. Remember that Mouse was playing amazingly well.
I'm trying
until
to think of the
Yeah,
game.
the qualifiers. Yeah.
And the best of 5 finals, they played against Didi, which was
Oh,
also...
yes, I do remember that. Okay.
Koigva was playing the
Got it.
clockwork, and he was winning the game just by himself, getting
Yeah,
all
but-
those hook shots on the Magnus that was played by Fanzi, I think.
You look really confused, Andy.
The lobby's all...
Not at the story.
Everything's broken.
Yeah, the
on my
lobby's all
screen.
screwed up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's all gone to hell.
There's
Have a
only
look.
2
Oh,
liquid...
wow, really?
I'll have a little peek.
Oh, whoa.
What's
It's like,
going
it's
on
like, how
over
did
here?
this happen?
Look, I've never seen that.
They just launched the game with
It's a
2 people.
4v2. It's only
It is a
fluff and stuff.
4v2.
And
I still
wait,
think Liquid wins.
Sexy.
I don't know, it's only
Except
the
they
support here.
have like way too,
weird.
yeah. Everything is broken. Yeah, okay.
Please.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Patch is
Everything's
coming,
fine.
guys. Patch is coming.
We're
No, just
fine.
kidding.
Bruno, do you realise you just scared a lot of people?
Yesterday on the stream, everyone was going mental about Dietide.
Yeah.
Look, can I just say, just in the break between the games, somebody in Twitch chat said Patch is coming, and Bruno was like, and he checks Reddit.
I was
So
like,
that's
it
how
can't
much
be. I
Bruno
didn't
knows.
authorize it.
Okay, let's
That's
take
how
a
much
vote.
Bruno knows.
Let's take a vote, at least on this panel, right?
Yes.
This doesn't reflect any of DreamHack's opinions on Diretide. Who cares about Diretide? Raise your hand.
I kind of do.
You're not
For-
raising your
so
hand though,
that's
so
my
you didn't
hand.
listen.
Well,
I would rather them work on I would rather Valve, instead of working on Dietide as a single map and then having to update it over a course of a month and a half for the community to get it ready, because it's a year old basically.
That's a lot of this.
Probably to work instead on creating the ability for the community to make their own maps within Dota 2, similar to something like Warcraft 3. That, in my opinion, is a lot more important. So, you know, if Valve go that direction, that would be fantastic. And, you know, just all this Dietide stuff, it seems a little silly.
I enjoyed
It's
it.
kind of
I
like,
did enjoy it, and I did miss it. But knowing that they're working on all kinds of highfalutin stuff.
Look,
I don't know what they're working on. But
if I don't get like a Dota 2
that
Mafia
would be a
map,
good idea.
I'm going to be really
a
upset.
Mafia. Remember
A Mafia for Dota 2.
Yeah.
That's an
was
awesome
pretty
game, man.
I mean, the Reddit community on r/Dota 2 have decided that I'm a very average Dota 2 player, so I just really hope I get some tower defense so I can actually hit some of my abilities.
the flame.
Did you see that? They
did
summed
see
us
that,
up.
yeah.
I think it was quite spot on. I don't know.
I think being called an average player to me, I would do backflips. At the moment, they're just like, yeah, he really is that bad.
Well, you're 5 seconds behind,
Yeah,
apparently. You're 5 seconds behind Mr. Everything Song.
It's a
Old man
cool
time,
Yeah.
old
It's
man
a cool
reactions.
guy.
That's what they said, old man
I
reactions.
don't know how good I think I am, but I don't think I'm like really, really good.
I think you're good,
But I
you're
think
not,
I think
like,
average
mega
is
good.
fine.
Yeah.
Average.
I'm like this.
Yeah.
I'm like a wavy player.
roller
What people call
coaster.
average, in fact, it's like very high average. Because if you actually, no, really, like very high is like 5% of the Dota 2 community,
Yeah.
maybe 10, maybe a 5, and that's what you see normally when you play the games because you're playing that bracket. I want to see what the 50%, the real 50% is like.
You don't.
It's just really fun.
But you think like, what's the average in America, right?
Right.
So if you're below average in America in terms of like maybe intelligence or smarts, I mean, Jesus Christ, that's bad. And you know, Andy's like one of the smartest guys that I've ever met from the US.
That like, I need a minute, man. That like hit me. It's
Well,
like,
give me what you said before.
you never said anything that nice to
Actually,
me
no. In all
before.
fairness, America has like the smartest people in the world, and then
like, yeah,
yeah,
I get
it's
where
such
you're coming
it's
from.
crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to be average in America isn't really a compliment. To be average in Sweden maybe is pretty good, but though I don't know, Scriff's below average,
Yeah, clearly.
definitely.
Not even a
It's
question.
That is big in
ridiculous.
Japan.
You know, before we left the house today, Scriff was supposed to bring a microphone for Nicholas.
And he forgot it.
He actually told him before he even came today to bring it, and
Yeah,
he didn't.
below average.
Yeah.
Blue.
Sorry, Scriff. We love you. Is the game ready? 'Cause
Yep.
we can
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
the
yeah.
buttons
He's
and
actually,
clicks
Milton
now.
said like 5 minutes ago that we could have made a transition into the
White
game.
noise to me, Milton. White noise. All right, then, guys. Next game, VP once again fighting for their tournament life here. If they take this win over Team Liquid, it potentially gives them a real shot because
Yep.
their last game is up
Definitely.
against Evil Genius. That didn't mean anything. But beat Team Liquid and just go for it, VP. But otherwise, I think Team Liquid are looking good here. So over to the bands and picks.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
I want more of that.
I
Yes,
think
more
VP
of
were
that.
listening. Look, VP were listening. They banned Prophet and
Yes.
Titan.
I'm so happy that they did that. Like,
Yeah, also the Elder Titan.
Because the thing is, if you look at the last two lineups that Team Liquid ran in the league, they both revolved heavily around Koikfa, just getting map control, farming whoever he was against. And he was against Clockwork, I think, 2 times in a row as
Yep.
Prophet, and both games, one of which I think Universe was the Clockwork, and then the other game, it was
Someone.
it Trixie?
Turn to ban.
Yeah, it was Fnatic, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was Trixie that
Yes.
game. And in both games, he had a
Virtus.Pro
spectacular performance,
turn
right?
to ban.
And that's not necessarily due to the players versus each other as much as it is the heroes versus each other and how they function in that type of a draft. Whereas the Nature's Prophet is much more important to Team Liquid's draft for that kind of a team than the Clockwork is for either, you know, Fnatic
10
or whoever's
seconds
team. So
remaining.
I do think it is the right call to take them out. And we're going to get a chance to
5
talk a bit about
seconds
Koikfa
remaining.
and Light of Heaven because both those guys are pretty good.
And this is really funny for me because even though Koikfa is trumping in all the categories, we have to also remember the Light of Heaven has been playing the carry, which normally
Virtus.Pro
should give him
turn
higher
to
numbers.
pick.
But then again, his carry play far away from stellar.
But Koikfa always plays Prophet, so of course he always has a ton of last hits.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true as well. But what I wanted to go for is Light of Heaven going back into the offlane role. I'm liking him much, much more now.
Yeah, agreed. I think his Darkseer, maybe his walls could have been
Was
a tiny bit better.
He did what he had to do.
It was acceptable.
He got a mech
10 seconds
in really fast
remaining.
time. I mean,
But they got a
acceptable.
level 1 Roshan.
They got a level
And
1
he
Roshan.
started as a Darkseer at level 2, which is like a godsend because
Yeah.
you can get your Surge straight away in lane and Ion Shell together, which is just like
Money time. Yeah.
all the spikes on your back are just erect. You're just like really happy about
Quivering.
that.
You know,
Yeah.
I did like whenever he set the wall up, the Witch Doctor would stand just the other side of it while he was channeling his ult, just sort of
Yeah.
daring people to come at him. I thought that was a nice move.
It's just another way to utilize having a different form of a front line, right?
Right.
Like instead of having like a Clockwork or somebody who just like, I'm in the fight, you have to focus me. You have an ability that does the same thing.
Yeah.
And something that functions very
5
similar to that
seconds remaining.
is Shadow Shaman Awards, which is the next picked up from VP. Yep.
Good.
And this is
good
probably going to be
segue.
a support Shadow Shaman.
I would agree.
When you see the Shadow Shaman and the Lifestealer in the lane, you see a lot of killing potential.
I would also agree, yes.
Yep.
And if you are a Weaver, like that Weaver could have been an offlane Weaver, but I don't think so anymore.
I don't think it would have been an offlane Weaver anyway. I mean, Team Liquid have been running a lot of aggressive lanes, so if anything, I think it would have been an aggressive tri-lane. And I think after seeing, okay, I'm going to like next level both of you right now.
Okay, blow my mind.
Okay,
Blow
let's
my
look
brain.
at the draft right now.
Yes.
Weaver sucks at 5 versus 5 engagements, right?
Weaver sucks at
Virtus.Pro
5 versus
In the
5.
early
Their
mid
first
game,
two
right?
picks, you say Weaver is really good against Lifestealer and Darkseer anyway, like no matter what, right?
Yep.
So then you see Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman is the hero who's going to make Team Liquid react to you because you're going to walk up to a tower, drop your wards, and then try to kill the tower.
Right.
And Weaver doesn't function well in those situations. But
Yes.
at that point in the game, you still don't have enough damage to split push, right?
Right.
So, what did Team Liquid say? We have a Visage, we have a Weaver. Now's our time to aggressive tri-lane to punish the Shadow Shaman to make sure that he can't hit 6 before the time in the game where Weaver's strong enough to actually fight.
Ooh,
which
so
is
you
why
say-
I think that this is going to now be an aggressive try from Team Liquid.
Ooh, and look at the heroes, they're walking. Whee! Now we're
So the
offensive.
aggressive trolling would be
But see, VP knows this too. So they ban out the Veno and the CM because they realize if they give him a third strong laner that all of a sudden our Shadow Shaman pick becomes far less useful.
Yes. But also, what does the Queen of Pain mean?
The Queen of Pain means that that's the mid hero. I mean,
Yes.
first and foremost. And he does still pretty well against Batrider, especially since the base damage nerf. I think a Queen could actually edge out a Batrider just straight up in lane now because a 10 damage nerf is pretty significant considering Queen has one of the highest base damages anyway, a fantastic animation, and a longer range, and Shadow Strike is really good for lane harass. So I feel G especially on Queen of Pain,
Yeah.
like his Queen of Pain is phenomenal. Can't say anything else. And Team Liquid, they're going to pick themselves up a Doom. I actually do like this because it's another hero who's going to be able to at least get some semblance of farm. I'm feeling like this is going to be a safe lane, Doom, versus an off lane Darkseer, which means you can devour the Ion Shell creep more or less every single wave.
Yep.
And then when you get to mid game, you say, okay, I Doom the Queen or the Lifestealer. Both
What
great
if-
targets.
What if, instead of Ion Shell and Crypt, since it's a 1v1 lane, the Darkseer Ion Shells himself and just stands next to the Crypt wave, making the Doom
could.
really hard to harass him?
He could do that, yeah. But the thing is, it puts you also in a very precarious situation because if anybody ever roams, like we don't know what the second support's going to be of Team Liquid yet.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's still an aggressive tri-lane, but they've taken away 2 really strong supports in aggressive tri-lane, so the choices from Team Liquid are going to be a bit limited. They would have to go something like a stun, like an Earthshaker, I suppose, wouldn't be too bad.
and those are both heroes, like Veno and CM are heroes that Fluff has been playing a lot.
Yeah.
So I think
Well,
that's-
everyone's been playing them.
Yeah, but Fluff has been playing him a lot. That is a true statement, Andy.
I mean, if you look at their heroes,
They have-
Visage, Beno, and Crystal Maiden are the heroes. So, Virtus.Pro, not only they came with good strats, they did their homework
Yeah.
coming into this game.
I think that the draft is really strong actually from both teams. I do like the Doom here a lot. There's not a lot of times where I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, this Doom pick is really good. But I actually think it fits here.
Especially once he
because
gets Midas and Devour, then he can just eat 2 creeps if they're Iron Shield.
here's the other genius of it, right? If you look at Team Liquid and you say, if we run an aggressive tri-lane, Virtus.Pro cannot lane it any other way. Because if they put Shadow Shaman anywhere but in the safe lane, he's going to suck.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not a good laner. He's only good against solo offlaners, which is probably not going to be the case here from Team Liquid. So that means we can get away with a really greedy 1v1. Because the Doom's never going to die to the Darkseer. Scorched Earth offsets the health that you lose from Ion Shell anyway. And if he ever gets dove onto the tower, then he can get TPs. So
Right, yeah.
it's a really safe pick, and it also allows him to shut out one of the cores of Virtus.Pro during the mid game, even if he doesn't farm great, which he might not.
Yeah,
Just the
yeah.
way that the hero functions in this team, knowing the lane setup that Virtus.Pro are likely going to be going with, it makes a lot of sense.
And of course, Doom on Lifestealer is kind of like a good thing to do to Lifestealer as well, right?
Yeah,
Dooming
or
the
Queen,
Lifestealer.
just whoever. I mean, if the Queen blinks in aggressively, which I doubt would ever happen in this game, unless Doom's already down, then you can Doom her, and then she can't get out, or you could Doom Lifestealer, and he can't fight.
Yeah.
Can BP do level 1 Roche with this lineup? I don't think so.
If
It
they
would be
did-
tough.
If they did, that would be like
seconds
back-to-back
remaining.
bluffs, in like big bluffs in a game of poker.
I mean,
They would-
technically, you can do level 1 Roche with any lineup.
They would be able to do it. What they'd have to do is Queen would have to skill level 1 Dagger,
Yeah.
and then Shadow Shaman gets level 1 Shackle,
Yeah.
and then Lifestealer gets level 1 Open Wounds,
Yeah.
and then they can do it.
And
Silencer.
Silencer should
Team
skill level
Liquid's
1
turn to
something.
pick.
Who cares?
Is this to give them time in a fight to kill the Doom before he can Doom anybody that he would
This
want
is
to Doom?
basically a, oh shit, the Batrider initiated hero.
Right.
It's like you hear lasso and you just boom, global straight away, because that way there's no follow-up.
Right, right.
People have the misconception of Silencer is the hero who stops the initiation. He actually never stops it. He just initiates straight after you do to make sure that nothing else can follow the initiation
Right.
spell of the other team, which in this case is going to work really well, because if the Batrider blinks in and then the global comes off, you can't. Like, the global lasts longer than the lasso duration.
Right.
So by the time the lasso's off, if you're G, you can blink back to safety. You can potentially infest if you're Lifestealer. There will be ways for you to escape from that. And it's another target you want to think about actually throwing the Doom on if you can, just to make sure that your back can jump in free of charge. And it's going to be another support Mirana here on the side of Team Liquid, so Fluff's going to get his hands on that. We actually saw earlier the most picked Team Liquid actually love their Mirana quite a bit too.
Yep. And do you think this is going to be a Mirana in a tri-lane, or this is going to be dual lanes?
I think we're going to have a minor problem here because we're having a lot of disconnects.
Yeah, I think somebody can't reconnect to the game. Somebody on the side of Team Liquid. I can't remember who it was, so we're probably going to have to rehost. And by probably, I mean everyone's already out of the game, so we do have to rehost.
Yeah.
Unless we were just going to be talking about nothing and theory crafting the whole game. So I think that draft-wise, this game should be pretty even, but if I had to give an edge to anyone, it would have to be Liquid, just because their reactionary picks, I feel, are incredibly strong.
And in terms of late game, when you see a Weaver and a Mirana, even if the Mirana isn't going to be a farmer Mirana,
Yeah, it's a support Mirana.
it's still strong. The Doom, I don't think he's going to go for very late game items. Rather,
He goes
probably
tanky or aura build.
tanky mech.
Mech could
maybe
be
on
good too,
him.
yeah. But that is kind of still aura build.
Yeah. So with that in mind, what happens if a Lifestealer, a Darkseer, and a Queen of Pain walk into a bar, or rather get into the late game?
It could be problematic, because if they build that mid-game Doom like you're talking about, like phase into Drum's mech or something like that, if he goes anything other than like a Heart or like really tanky, just lead the front line type of a hero, it's still very difficult to take team fights against Shadow Shaman, especially when you're against Global. Like, you have to have a hero who can walk in and make the other team react so heavily that they have to ulti, right? So I think that if he functions in that sense and he gets really beefy, then it could work. But they do have kind of a window, in my opinion, at least in terms of how successful that lineup can be.
Well, if it's Windows 8.1, they may be okay. Period.
Just let me click the button. My apologies.
Yeah, Pyrian
Yes,
was the
sir.
one
Have
that's
you
sitting.
ever played Silencer?
No.
No. Have you ever played against Silencer? I'm betting yes.
God,
Yeah,
many
I'm
times.
guessing you have.
He's
Most
a
people have.
pain in the ass.
Give me your impression on the hero based on what you've seen.
He balls out of control if things aren't going well. He gets that massive int gain, hits ridiculously hard. You're about to pounce on everybody, and from nowhere, silence, and you're on the back foot. He's a nightmare to play against.
Andy, why does Silencer really don't work that much in pro games in general?
Well, because he doesn't really add much to a lane. And since a lot of the game now is very lane-centric, all he does is orb walk and use last word. So he does some harass damage, but his harass is actually very high mana cost. He's an int hero, but it costs a heck of a lot of mana to spam last word. So it's not really that good. And during the mid-game, the only reason they want the Silencer is to make sure that their cores don't just get shut out straight away. So he's very, I would say, finicky in how he can function. But we are actually back inside of the game. Everyone is picking up their heroes now.
Perfect.
And we're going to get a chance to see the game play out.
Yeah, and the only one not picking, I think, is Fluff, which is trying
The
to
guy
find
who DC'd,
Mirana.
I think, last game.
He's like, where's
He's like,
Mirana?
I don't know where it is.
Is it
Help me
Luna?
out.
Yeah,
I
no,
always
that's
do
the other
that.
lady
There
with
we
the
go.
cat. It's going to be
Awesome.
fine.
Do they still have the
Boop.
long wait time between AP when
Yes.
you take all your heroes?
Yes.
Isn't there like a way to like
You can.
If everyone alt-enter,
alt
then
enter? Yeah,
everyone...
it loads the game, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, everyone from the players, but always players forget or go AFK or something.
Yeah. Or they don't know.
Even Pyrian knew that.
True.
Good period.
Yeah. It's like.
That's what you learn from playing bot games.
That's true. I've played bot games once or twice.
I play a lot of bot games.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
Hmm.
It's good to test mechanics and like new stuff.
All right, so game's loaded up. We're good to go. It's going to be VP taking on Liquid. Second game of the day for VP. Can they keep their hopes alive? Can they maintain or extend their stay here in the ASUS ROG DreamLeague?
Yeah. I think they can. I think they're on a roll. Let's see what they've got up their sleeves.
And the lanes seem to be... My question here, NS, this tri-lane with a Shadow Shaman and a Silencer, I'm not too happy about that. Because I was kind of hoping that it was going to be dual lanes.
It has to be tri-lane, though. That's the thing. Like, what if they 2-1-2? Okay, well, then they lose 2 lanes still anyway.
The thing is that if you get quick levels on a Silencer, might still be better in terms of just trying
But
to
what
stop
it-
things from happening.
Okay, let's think about it this way. if the silencer gets a quick 6, NS hits 6 before the blink dagger is done on bat, that sounds good, but it's still kind of a waste because you're never going to global anything. You're not the ones who are initiating until your supports are going to get high enough level to walk up to the tower and try to siege it with a Rasta, right? So I don't know, man.
Rasta also gets level 6 faster, and you can start pushing. I don't know.
It feels weak to me. I don't know. I don't know how to say other than that. It just feels like I don't want to leave my lifestealer in a situation where he's not going to get the most out of the game that he can. Because if Blow Your Brain gets behind, then they don't have any cores. Like it's just a lifestealer.
Very optimistic arrow there.
But I mean, this is totally what I was expecting in lanes. This is pretty much all the ideology behind it is, hey, Liquid, we can get away with picking a Doom. We know it shuts down one of the heroes on DP. We have Bat Rider for initiation, and we can split push too, which is quite annoying. So
We'll see.
Interesting.
We'll see if that can happen right now.
Bulba again being pulled. Regen.
Ah, Bulba. You hypocrite. Hypocrite.
Hypocrite.
Damn. NS. Not getting any points in anything yet. Curse of the Silent. This is a skill that sometimes feels that it's so weak.
it is weak.
And it gets buffed every single time. But
And
against
it's
the
still
tri-lane,
weak.
do you think it might be okay?
Well, a lot of the spells are pretty low mana cost. You can Shikuchi, you can Grave Chill, which only costs 70 mana, and you can Arrow, which only costs 100 mana.
Yeah.
And there's 2 clarities on Fluff. So this lane for Liquid is all about dominance. It's all about trying to establish a lead during the laning phase. The Doom versus the Darkseer, it's probably going to be favored for Darkseer, no question about that. Middle, Bat Rider versus Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain probably slightly better, and that 1 versus 1. So 2 lanes for me on the side of Liquid are going good enough. And then you're going to have a hero who's going to be finding his farm no matter what, and Quakeva, because you can't really stop Devour.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not the nature's prophet, meaning that Quakeva will be forced to either split push, which Doom is not great at, he's barely okay, or just stick to his team. And that was what made the difference with Quakeva last time. When he was playing Prophet, he was able to go into the jungle, just do his thing, knowing that he can pop into the fight any single time. With that change of dynamics, way too.
Kind of caught out. Forced a Grave Chill here.
NS is kind of...
Last word will silence him, but they don't have any detection in lane because Liquid have dropped the Sentry first. NS can do some orb walking, but no real damage done necessarily.
Yep.
Light of Heaven is doing what you said, by the way, and Ion Shelling himself and then walking next to Quakeva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a sensible thing to do, because that way...
The creep doesn't get eaten.
Indeed.
Yeah. And now he can just walk around. And he's... he ran out of Iron Shell himself.
He did.
He's going to just, do this. This is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Doom will still have enough of base damage to get most of the hits anyway.
Yeah, he hits hard, man.
He hits hard. 70. But at the same time, Light of Hand will get every single last hit.
Yeah.
While Doom might miss 1 or 2. And that offsets the Devour gold. Making
He's
it...
going to take some more damage here, most likely. Light of Heaven, the cool thing about this is you don't even have to click on the hero. That's
No,
what
it's
draws
just- you
tower
don't
aggro.
want to click.
Yeah, you walk around and you just walk towards him, and then he's like, man, this really hurts. And
Yeah.
Scorched Earth is a pretty lengthy cooldown. It's about 55 seconds at level 2. So every minute you can regen a bit, and he's already going to be forced to salve, and it's only 3 minutes in. And then after that, he only has 1 tango left.
Mm-hmm. And mana issues.
1 tango to dance. Yep. Okay, this lane is pretty much clear from the get-go. This lane bottom, it's about who can farm the most, and it's 7-0 for the Lifestealer and 20-2.
Expected, though. I mean, what can the Lifestealer do? These supports are not supports that are meant to fight. That's the problem with picking heroes like Shadow Shaman earlier into the draft. If you see the other team's supports, and it's a Visage, that hero has aggressive potential, whereas Shadow Shaman does not. So it already limits what lanes you can possibly field, and that's really what Liquid are abusing here.
Yep.
They see the early support, they're like, okay, that's a greedy hero. How can we punish this? We already see a Lifestealer 2. We know we can lane against this. Weaver's not great in 5 versus 5, but if we win the lanes hard enough, that won't matter.
Yeah, and you know what Sam told me, Bulba? He says, in this new patch of defensive tri-lanes suck. He didn't say suck, he says suck something else, but...
Well, they suck when you pick them early, because if you pick them early and you give away your game plan, any experienced drafter will just be like, oh yeah, we know exactly how to abuse this.
Well, but fairly, that was the case in every single patch. If you give away that you're going defensive, you give the possibility for going offensive. But the fact is that before, you could kind of fall back.
Oh, Arrow. It's going to hit on Arsart. That's a 5-second. TC comes in with a Shikuchi. This is going to be your first blood.
Wowee.
Soul Assumption from Way 2 gets it.
as I said, you can go back into just getting the support to farm the jungle, rotate a little bit. Right now, it feels that if you go and farm the jungle, well, you have an easy camp. You just block the big camp. You don't even have to block the easy camp. And it suddenly becomes much harder to pull. And even if you don't block, you can just go and contest with an offensive enough tri-lane. It just feels to them, and I'm just echoing his sentiment, that it just, there's no point in going defensive tri-lane anymore. You just either go 2-1-2 or go offensive tri-lane.
Well, I would agree with that in most cases, but there are some times where being greedier can be better. I just don't think that this is one of them, because they showed exactly what they were doing straight away. And up until that point, Liquid only had one support and a very ambiguous carry who can pretty much do anything. And that's, I think, where an experienced drafter comes into play too. Whereas Virtus.Pro last game, I love their draft for a lot of reasons, but this one I feel like they have been, they've been given the guff.
They've been given the guff.
The goose.
The goose. No, that's something different.
You gotta, well, Shane will tell you gotta grease them up, which is when you give people like
harass.
Lane harassment.
Okay.
If you're gonna give someone some guff, that's kind of the same thing, but it can also mean another thing I'm not quite clear on because it's Shane and who knows.
He's Irish.
Well, he is. He's also specifically kind of insane, but he's a lovely guy.
He's nuts, but he's
awesome.
awesome.
Half the time I have no idea what he's talking about.
There's like good crazy and crazy crazy.
He's a
crazy.
bit of both.
There's been a rotation up at this top lane actually by both teams. Doom onto Light of Heaven. G comes in from the back. He actually doesn't have enough mana for his ulti, and he's getting hit by the creep wave. Can he go for the deny? He won't be able to get it. It looks like Light of Heaven was the first to die there, and everyone basically dies all over the map. Bottom, Way2 is going to be dropping as well, and VP, they come out ahead. Wow. They have a kill lead right now.
Oh, man.
And the support's leading bottom. This I actually don't agree with at all. I mean, the support's leaving the lane in general, I just don't agree with.
I mean, if you're going for an offensive tri-lane, you have to commit to it, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, TC getting caught under the guise of the Sentry. NS
and
doesn't have last word out. Now, finally he does. Blow Your Brain continuing to run forward. 2 auto attacks. This should be a kill. Oh, the wand! Oh, what? He just so close. The curse. It got him.
Oh, curse. Strongest skill ever.
The silent,
Strongest skill.
Curse of the silent. Curse of the silent.
Nerf it.
Yes.
So Goose is the same as Guff, and
grease him up.
Grease him up is
that's something like Bad Rider does.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Shane doesn't say give him the grease or grease him up as much. It basically means the same thing. It's all just different forms of harassment. Good goosing. That's when you run at someone.
That was a really nice attempt by Fluff.
Yeah. That was the same exact arrow he landed a minute ago on Shadow Shaman.
Yep. That angle, man, it's hard to see, especially when it's nighttime.
Yeah, it feels at nighttime. I don't know. It's just me, maybe, but it feels at nighttime becomes more and more restrictive each game with all these heroes that used to have night vision.
Yeah, now it's like nighttime and you can't see like the creep wave. Yes. You're like, help! What's happening?
Do you remember when Dota 2 just came out? There was like a bug with nighttime that everyone had much shorter vision.
Yeah,
they had like 600 instead of 800, which is like darkness vision right now.
It's like try closing your eyes about 80% of the way and playing an entire game like that.
That's what it felt like. So if you were Night Stalker, actually I think that was one of the reasons why Night Stalker was such a strong hero. Yeah. During Tier 1.
Well, that and the hero pool was tiny.
Yeah, there were like 3.
There weren't really a lot of heroes to even. Was Clockwork even in the game then? I don't think he was.
Yeah, he was.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
Are you sure?
He was one of the only 2 offlaners that were there. Clockwork and Windrunner.
I was gonna say because I don't remember there being many heroes in the pool back then that were actually good against Night Stalker.
Yeah, but people didn't pick Clockwork much. I don't know why.
Fluff throws out an arrow, hits Light of Heaven's illusion. As he picks it up, G throws at the Scream. He's going to chase up to the high ground. Bulba chasing down G, though. Way2's here. Ultimate actually clips him from downtown. G, he's going to get lasted in the meantime. Soul Assumption's there. Light of Heaven, he secures the kill with the vacuum. He's walking up to the high ground. Bulba's going to be dropping as well. Light of Heaven behind the tower. Quickfa can't decide what to do. He's actually not going to get either of them. He's just walking back and forth. He's like, I don't know. Panic.
If I had a Furion, I could TP, but I can't.
Yeah.
Then he buys Boots of Travel. For all his trouble.
Well, he has phase already.
Yeah, well, more boots can help. Did you see this guy that wins all of his game when he plays 6 boots?
I've never seen that.
It's a guy on Dota with Blow.
Blow Your Brain got arrowed. He will be able to escape from this and fest back to full HP.
What a nice killing fest. Get out of jail free
Which boots does he buy?
No, he buys the 6 boots, and you see his Dota buff, and when he plays anything else at 6 boots, he loses. And it's not like he fits. He just loses normally, with the normal score. Oh, Arsart. The TP
Teleport
is
coming in.
Global?
Bulba doesn't have lasso though. Bully Brain goes straight in on the way to. I think Bulba might be able to get a kill here. Curse of the Silent goes off on one. Starstorm going to be there. Flame Break back into the tower by Bulba. And this is going to be dropping as well. And Liquid managed to turn it around very nicely. And they get the Tower Deny on top of that.
Nice.
Big win for Liquid.
And now Blink for Bulba.
Wow, that's a fast
Man,
one.
everyone has so much CS this game.
Yeah.
Like, you compare this to last game, it's less than 10 minutes in, and there are 5 people who have almost 50 creep kills.
That's a lot.
That's actually very uncommon.
It is. It's people trying to get last hits and not trying to deny each other. If you look at the denies,
Yeah.
no one has 10 denies. The closest one is G with 8 in the mid lane, which it happens. But even that Weaver that was having free fire, he was more concerned about getting those last hits than denying the Lifestealer experience, which also kind of kept Lifestealer into the game. But now, Light of Heaven is resorting to farming the woods a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, and with that, he...
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Bulba, he's got Blink. Light of Heaven has now realized this. There are 2 teammates behind Light of Heaven, though. I think he just dies here. NS and Arsart are like, well,
no.
we'll sing tales of your valor, bud, but we're out of here.
Does he get he gets a money hand like every time on this build, Quickfoot, right?
Well, it depends, really. Oh,
G getting the kill on Visage in mid.
Yeah, finds his way to.
Oh, careful, the arrow. Ooh, so close.
And G's level 11, so he's roughly a level a minute right now.
He's
doing
power.
very well in terms of experience. And having a level 2 ulti at this stage in the game against supports that aren't that tanky, as we have just seen,
Yep,
very good.
very good. Do you go Axe and go full grid here and just try to keep...
Well, he already got an orb, so I'm on to his game plan.
Oh. Would you get an Axe in a game like this?
I think it's actually not bad.
Okay.
Because you'd have it so fast that no one is really going to have BKB by that time, and Weaver's not rushing a BKB, and this, well, he is rushing a BKB. Wow. Okay. Well.
Oh, there goes
So
the
much
plan.
for that. So he's getting a BKB first, but the reason why you don't usually see this is because he's going to be a kitten. He's going to do no damage at all, which is the problem that Liquid are going to run into during the mid game. And I wanted to talk about why this is important because during the laning phase, you see the tri-lane versus tri-lane. Blair Rain was getting no farm. Why break that tri-lane just to help a hero who doesn't really need that much help? Sure, Light of Heaven was winning the lane, but they're putting too much emphasis on trying to win 2 lanes instead of just having 1 lane going so well that a hero is just going to be a non-factor, and then you just doom G, and then suddenly you have a Lifestealer with no farm, doom the hero with farm, and you win team fights. Instead, they decided to rotate, and as soon as they did, everything went to crap.
What if Koikwa was just bitching, "Go, gag my lane, gag my lane"?
He doesn't complain. I've watched his stream. He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy?
He is a nice guy.
Cool, awesome. Maybe Fluff was like...
Actually,
this
he
is
flamed
boring.
me once.
Really?
He
What
sounds
did
like
you
a
do?
nice guy.
We played against him. Like it was me and my subscribers versus him and some of his friends, and we lost like pretty bad.
Oh, Koikwa and Fluff are going to Fun G? Is this a Doom?
Yep, that's
This
a
is
doom.
Doom.
That's an arrow.
Oh,
She's
wow.
like, here, let me help you with that. And just walks right back into it. Goodbye, friend.
We hardly knew you.
That was the no juke.
Yeah. I don't know what that was about.
Weaver gets a tower as well. There's a little bit of a chase from Light of Heaven, but not enough. There was a sentry, so if Light of Heaven had chased a little bit more, maybe he could have done something. And I just...
Oh, Bruno.
Crap.
Wow.
This is why we can't take you out anymore.
Yeah.
This is why we can't have nice
Bruno
things.
just spilled a can of drink all over the desk. Milton?
Yes.
That's
Oh.
okay. They can't see it, which means that we'll
No.
have plenty of time to clean this up. And hopefully, okay, what the hell was that?
Trying to stop it going down the stack there by your laptop.
You guys couldn't see what just happened, but he just took the whole mouse pad and he just hucked it on the floor with soda all over it, and now it's just on the floor.
Yep.
So that just goes
It's
to
on
show
the
how
floor, it's
easy
out
of
of
a
shot.
life us talent have. It's like, you know what? We spilled something.
just
fucking
throw it away.
I threw it on the
I
ground.
think it's better than Coca-Cola going down there into the laptop. That's
He
what
was
I'm
not
saying.
even close to the
Dude,
laptop.
I've seen spills before.
He's a dad. He
I
understands
just wanted
how
to get
this
it off
goes.
the desk. Milton nods. He knows what's up.
Yeah.
I wish we had a camera on that,
Sorry.
because that would have been like perfect. Milton's even here. He's like, you guys are awful. Like, I don't even understand why we let you work for us. But
But the tower
Siege
is
in the
gonna
tier
fall.
1 middle, yeah. Mass Serpent Words used for the first time this game. Denial attempt from Fluff. Not going to get it, though.
It's hard to deny against the wars.
It is. And TC actually ends up dying in the top lane to G solo,
Oh.
which is
Yeah, Scream. And
interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
How do you die as a Weaver to a hero with no disables?
Maybe he wasn't quick enough to
Maybe
press
he
R.
Shakuchi'd to farm, and then
Didn't
he
have an
got blinked
escape.
on.
Mirana had just used her ult too. None went down there, Milton. I made sure of it, sir.
No. It's fine.
By flipping it.
I made sure as well,
courageously
because
onto the
as it
floor.
was falling, I was like mind controlling the cog. So
Thank you. Oh, God. God, Milton's electrified.
That was so loud that I just heard it. Like there was just this huge static jolt.
Ow.
You know, that's what you get for throwing something on like a rubber floor
got
or whatever this
electrified.
is.
Oh,
I don't know if it's
God
rubber or
damn
not,
it.
but it looks like it. We'll see. Top lane.
He's like a supervillain.
They get the tower, tier 1 top.
Electro, man.
All the excitement has now faded from the studio. Milton's gone back to his production days. Shout out to Milton, producer,
Milton, we love you.
family man,
Massive
cleaner of coke.
cleaner.
Great beer.
Yes. Amazing beard. Dude, if I could grow a beard like that, are you kidding me? I would
gosh.
rock that every day of my life.
Yeah.
Lifestealer, in the meantime, he finds a kill bottom
And he's got you another mouse
with the help
pad.
of G.
He's got me another mouse pad.
Yay!
Thanks.
New mouse pad.
Sweet.
It's a rocket as well.
Yeah.
You know, Pyrian.
Meteor blue.
Oh, top. TC. He's chasing down Arsard and Light of Heaven. Light of Heaven Surge finally going to fade off. Mecha's going to be popped.
Oh,
here comes Bulba. He's got a Blink Dagger. Flame Break going to hit Light of Heaven. Arsard's just like,
Nice wall.
I'll be a diversionary tactic. Just make it out. Tell my family I love them.
Pick me, I'm old.
Tell your wife I love her. What? Is that how it goes?
That's how
That's
it goes.
definitely not how it goes.
That's how it goes, Bruno.
Maybe if you're a swinger.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is NS doing up here, by the way?
Well, I think he's trying to get a kill, which he will.
Oh.
He's just going to go in.
TV in.
Curse.
Ah, so
Oh,
close.
the flame break.
Well, he gets intelligence.
Yeah, he gets experience and int for the kill.
Good job.
Not bad.
I'm more intelligent now that I age it. It reminds me like, has any of you ever watched this TV show Heroes from like 7 years ago?
Yeah.
Was it really that long ago?
It was that long ago. And there
Wow.
was like Sylar, this guy that used to eat people, well, not eat people's brain, but
Yeah.
like, kill them and get smarter
He
and get
then
their powers.
With his finger, he would like cut into
Yes.
their head. Yeah.
So that's Silencer. Sylar Silencer.
Yeah, maybe.
He kills people and becomes more intelligent. He doesn't get his powers. That will be like devoured too.
Yeah, he
but
just gets smarter.
But
gets smarter.
but
It's
it's-
kind of like it.
Whatever. Save the cheerleader, save the world.
Of
Fade and
course.
Penalty, yeah. Holy cow.
Holy cow.
She's on the list.
She was like 17 or something when that show was
Yeah.
on.
Was
Well,
she?
I was a little younger back then, I guess. You know.
Oh, so it's okay
acceptable,
to be
yeah.
a pedophile because you were younger at the time.
17? How is that a pedophile?
It's not in Sweden.
It's
That's true. It's
16
not.
in
It's
the
like
UK.
14 in Sweden.
It's
isn't it?
crazy. I was checking today a map of like average age for first sexual.
You would be checking that map, wouldn't you?
It was great.
What the hell is wrong with the people in my house? Oh, top lane. It's going to be a kill on G.
You were watching
Bulba
him
and Fluff
scream.
managed to find him, and that's a pretty big kill because he doesn't have his hex yet,
Look at
Yeah.
this. This
which
is,
is the item
a
that he's
roach.
going for.
This is not a level 1 Roche, but it's a Roche. And it's a level.
What?
Yeah, it's trying to make something that didn't have anything.
I think everyone came to the studio drunk besides me today.
I think we're all still asleep.
You're still asleep. I woke up 5 minutes before we freaking left the house, and I'm more on it than you are.
Yeah, but you actually got some sleep. I only got 9 hours.
What?
Jesus.
Only 9 hours. You know, most people don't even sleep for 9. They sleep for like 6.
I get 6.5 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there comes an age when you
Okay,
can't
just
sleep
picked
more
up.
than 6.
TC, he's going to Shikuchi past a ward. Here comes the Hex. TC making a very
Free
big
kill.
mistake.
Yeah.
Shikuchiing past a very common ward spot, and NS is going to be dying in the meantime, but trading out a Silencer for a Weaver and getting the Aegis. Virtus.Pro, I'll be honest, man, I had some questions about their draft, but they've made it, I would say, unscathed to the mid-game. This is the part where their lineup really starts to become scary. And again, TC, he's rushing a BKB. He's not going to do any damage for a long time. And the whole purpose of this draft from Liquid was to shut down the lanes. Their supports moved and gave an opportunity for VP to get breathing room. I really think that's where the game just goes south for them.
Yeah, if they had kept that offensive tri-lane, even if Light of Heaven gets all the farm in the world, what's he gonna do?
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
that-
Like, he can't do anything on his own.
No, I mean, really, if you have the best game in the world in Dark's here, what do you go for? You get a mech, really fast.
Battle Fury. Battle Fury treads. I've done it, and it wins games.
But you punch so slow.
Oh, that's why you buy treads. Arsart, he's getting beaten down by these familiars. Ulti
nice
onto
try.
TC. He's going to get silenced as well. The global comes out, but it's not going to be enough damage to take him out. Way too. Going to get dove inside of the base. Arrow hits on Blow Your Brain. Familiars doing some damage as well. Stun's going to be there. Doom as well onto G.
Deny
Age
G.
is still up. Can anyone get the deny? I think they're just abandoning him, actually. Mass Serpent Wards are dropped. Bulba taking a ton of damage. He's got another bottle charge.
Blow
He's
is
going to be
gonna-
able to flame break. Armor toggle from Blow Your Brain. Keeps himself alive for the time being. NS runs into another arrow. Fluff is just an absolute monster. Pops the wand charge. Throws out a curse before he dies, saying, I hate you all. Why did you kill me?
I will
And
curse you before my death.
Team Liquid, man.
These arrows from Fluff are just disgustingly good.
Boom.
They've saved the game. Like,
Yes.
those arrows kept them in the game.
Yeah.
And we just saw exactly what I was talking about earlier. You doom the hero with the farm, and then you just kill the other
Kill
one.
everybody
Punch the
else.
other
That's why I don't understand why they would move, because you have a hero who just deletes somebody from the game for like 12 seconds. And if you can't win a team fight in 12 seconds, then you're probably not winning the game anyway.
No, clearly not. Unless you have a team that's.
Well, I don't
really
mean
specific.
in literally 12 seconds. I mean win the fight.
No, but I mean, there are some teams, and Weaver normally is in one of those kind of teams that like to drag out team fights.
Yeah.
Like just to play super, super slowly. But this is not the case with Liquid.
Now, is this going to be a Shivas or a Sheepstick on Quickfoot, do you think?
Well, I think if he goes Shivas, their team fight's still pretty strong because there's only one hero who can do anything about it. But at the same time, it would be really nice to have a Hex just to be able to stop the Lifestealer too. Because if you have a Doom and a Hex,
Yeah.
then suddenly it's like, well, we
I
can't
will
really
lock
focus
this guy
anyone.
down and yeah.
I think Shivas, I don't know, it's hard to say. I think both are good.
Yeah.
Yep. I myself would like to see a Sheepstick.
Yeah.
Even though the Shiva is good, especially when you have 3 armor.
Yep.
The aura is not that relevant against BP's team because there's lots of magic damage coming. And the Sheepstick, again, we saw how good it goes when you kill G fast. If you can do that, and maybe then you can blow your brain fast with Doom and Ship. I don't know. It feels
It's
like
a
there's
Shivas.
nothing that BP can do, especially because it's a Shivas. Boo.
Boo.
I just want to say that
It's still good though. I mean, it's not like it's a bad choice. It's just between the two of them, the Shivas is a cheaper investment, and it gives him like the instant gratification per se.
Also,
yeah,
it is kind of a good counter to Lifestealers auto attacks as well, isn't it? And Quops, because you're lowering their attack speed.
Yeah, but you're assuming like that hero is not going to have a lot of uptime in the fight anyway, because he's either going to get lassoed or doomed. Like, the way I see it is this: whichever hero gets doomed doesn't get lassoed.
Right. Yep.
You lasso the other one, and
So
then
maybe
you
it's
kill
like
it.
a backup plan if things go south.
I like the idea of having activatable items, especially things like Shiftstick, when you're playing against a Silencer, because Silencer doesn't silence items. Meaning
Sure.
that if you can get that going,
Bulba
you
looking
can
for
still
some
do
initiation here.
yeah, but it's very optimistic.
He's made his home in the woods.
Oh, he's canceling TP.
They actually cancel the
Wow.
TP and a Lifestealer inside of G. So now all of a sudden, they're not going to be able to react to that bottom push, and there's going to be a dive on bottom as well. Quakefa
Shadow
and
Shaman was
Way2
there.
diving behind the tower. Arsark goes down. They're not even going to defend the tier 2. They just had Bulba there, and they're like, yeah, we're going to throw out a flame break and just
Oh,
stop them from
Courier.
TPing.
Oh.
Courier gets sniped as well. TC.
TC finds his way into the courier.
Yeah.
Gets a little bit of gold for his team. I haven't checked the gold graph recently.
It's
pretty close.
It's pretty close. Experience now going Liquid's way. Gold still a little bit in BP's way. It was in Liquid's favor for a while.
For a while.
No, sorry, it's in Liquid's favor. It wasn't BP's.
Is under attack.
I'm confused. It's in BP's favor now.
It was in Liquid's
Liquid's
favor.
favor, yeah.
Now it's in VP's.
But now it's swinging back towards Liquid.
Yes. But again, with no tier 2 rather other than the bottom one, BP, maybe with one more push, they will have to start thinking whether they want to go high ground or just delay the game, maybe get Roach from the jungle. And do you think BP can afford to just wait and delay the game any much more?
I think it's okay. I don't think you want to let Doom get like another 2 items, because if he gets like a heart, for example, then you have a frontline hero who is more or less invincible. Even a Lifestealer is not going to be able to eat through that kind of tankability, because honestly, Blow Your Brain isn't that farmed. He only has 94 CS. And again, that's just attributed to the fact that Liquid did a really good job at laning. And I still really think that they shouldn't have even moved their supports, just like sit there and kill them or stop him from getting farmed. But at this stage, it's more or less just waiting to try to push the high ground. And the high ground from VP is actually really strong, because you have a hero who can blink in, you have a mech, you have mass serpent wards. So your siege is incredibly tough to deal with. And in the back global silence, if they try to initiate on you, with Mirana ulti, say for instance,
Right.
you can just global straight away and try to take the team fight from there.
The thing is that it feels that, to me, when you have heroes like Doom and Bat Rider, once you pop the global silence, the damage is done. Silence doesn't cancel Lasso. Lasso is still there, so they can still take you. And the Doom, you just pop it. There's nothing that you can do. So sometimes I feel that Silencer works better with skills that are channeling. Like if you have a big black hole, or if you have Fiend's Grip from Bane, then you can actually be more effective after the
Double
fact.
damage.
But with this, you kind of have to rely on a very, very well-timed ultimate. Otherwise, it will not do that much.
Can I just say that Fluff, with hardly any farm, has basically been Liquid's most important player in the team fights, I
Oh,
think.
I hear Nala's disappear.
Yeah, Bulba's sitting behind the tower here, looking for potentially a lasso, but they get the tier 1 mid in the meantime, so TC picks that up. Bulba pops the Firefly, thinking about going in. It's really hard to initiate onto this.
Whoop, blow.
Would have hit you if he kept walking, but he blinked instead.
Yeah. Good call for him.
Could be
Now,
cancel here.
It could be 2 towers.
Oh, blink back in.
Oh,
Hex
Bulba.
on the Bulba. He's going to get
He's
caught
gone.
out.
He's
Now all of a
gone.
sudden, Liquid have to commit to mid. They can't even take this fight anymore. Fluff is sitting nearby with an Invis rune. Oh, he actually comes out.
What?
Restart. He's got a blink.
Did he
He can go
expire?
for it. Oh, they all TP'd back to defend the tower. So Global Silence comes out. Mid. Shiva's going to be used. Blow your brain. Going for Koifa of all
no,
people.
not a good idea.
Not even sure why he would go for him. And there's Aghanim's birds out here being dicks, because that's what birds do. And everyone's going to pretty much retreat.
Yeah, and they can still chase Koiva here. And Koiva might tomb. Can they?
He's
they
so
have nothing.
fast, though. Yeah, Light of Heaven had Vacuum on cooldown for another 5 seconds.
Wow, vacuum cooldown right now is like 68 minutes or something.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think you can use it once a game, and it's never actually coming back off
It
cooldown.
was too good before.
Yeah.
I think it, but in old money, that vacuum, he would have been able to vacuum him right there.
Yep. It was not enough.
Like
though.
20 patches ago, he would have been able to, yeah.
It used to be able to use it every 14 seconds, I think.
God almighty.
It was like 12 or 14, yeah.
It was crazy.
So much. So much. Oh, Silencer dewarding some wards. Actually, he didn't want to finish dewarding. So he
I don't
saw. No, yeah, there's a sentry here, is it?
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't really want to.
Yeah, but the
Doesn't
cool
too
thing
scary.
is, with the new patch, that other sentry ward doesn't see his wards. So it doesn't matter that it's just sitting there. Normally, you'd be like, huh, that sentry ward can actually see the other sentry, but now it can't.
Yeah. So it's,
Ice Frog, please.
It's fine. I think it's fine.
It's fine. No, I did agree with that change because it was kind of silly that you could put sentries at a choke point and just spot out smokes.
Yeah.
It was really stupid that you could do that.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of dewarding was to make sure that smoking would be always successful.
Right.
And now, or before, that you could just have a random sentry and be like, well,
Yeah, there it goes. And this Roche is going to go in Liquid's way, and there's
Yeah.
nothing that BP will do to defend. Oh, Arrow? Arsad? No? Bad.
well, now they know what's going on. And they're like, guys, we've given away a Roshan.
And the Weaver with the BKB, almost Lincoln's.
Wow, he's going super defensive.
Again, no damage at all.
Well, I mean, Quakefoot does have the Wolf Aura, which is 30% bonus damage. He could go Vlad's, too, to be the Aura. I know, I don't like it either, to
You
be
don't
honest.
think the pack leader's aura
I
is
appreciate the
big?
sentiment.
No, I think that it is big. We're talking about the Weaver's item build.
Okay.
We're talking about BKB and Lincoln's
Oh, wow, yeah.
maybe overkill. Just a bit.
Super defensive.
Who wants to survive?
Well, he'll survive. But the thing is, if you get a
He's
BKB...
0-3 and 6.
yeah, I
He
mean,
wants to leave.
the deaths that he had, though, were because he was playing very interesting. Like when you Shikuchi past the river, right? Bottom river right now where Visage is flying past, and you just like go through 3 heroes and say, oh man, there's totally not going to be a sentry here. And then you
And
die.
imagine if he had a BKB and a Lincoln.
It was like watching Era play Clinks the other day. It's like he did it twice. He's just like, oh yeah, this is totally not a common ward spot at all.
At
I'll
all.
be totally safe here.
Oh, no.
Oh, guys, they spotted me.
I think
My
they have a
invisibility
gem.
doesn't work. G, flanking forward on bottom. He's looking for way to. Even throws out a scream. Hex is going to be there. Global silence even. They really
birds are
want to kill
silent.
way to. Yeah, they can't stun.
Now kill the 3 birds.
He drops him in panic.
Kill
instead.
the 3 birds. Get the 300 gold. It's the best investment in the world.
What? I guess he killed the trees to maybe attack them easier. Micro.
Oh, 1.
That's 100 for our start.
Birds live in trees.
Yeah.
Now they're flying away.
Fly, my pretties!
He's going for
They
it.
do no damage. They don't have any right click at all. The birds are just like, peace, I'm out. Oh, G actually hits pretty hard.
It's not blinking there.
Fluff looking for potential arrow here on an S, going for the anticipation right in the face. Actually, had a ward.
Yeah, of course.
Had a ward there.
Yeah, still
Can't
nice.
blind that. But
Well,
Thanks
so
for
you
the
would have
pass.
saw him from the creep wave.
yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
Don't question me, Bruno.
His arrow record
like
is still
questioning
way higher than it should be.
He's got above 50%, I want to say.
Yeah.
Oh,
Easily.
God, yeah. I mean, not counting the ones he's just thrown out as like scout arrows.
Do you miss that command from Warcraft 3 to see your
Hook accuracy and
hook
arrow
accuracy and arrow accuracy?
It was pretty cool.
Radiant's
Ice
top
Rog,
tower
please.
is under attack.
Put it in.
Put it back.
We do
Although
like
I
stats.
never need that because every time I play Pudge or Marana, my chat keeps track of it for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same
Yeah.
here.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
Like, oh my god, you missed a hook? Because I just throw a hook out blindly, like while we're pushing. It's like, oh my god, what a terrible hook.
Yeah.
So I always know every hook that I miss.
And
It's,
it is
the,
banned.
it's like the reconnaissance by fire in the army.
Yeah.
You just shoot a bush to see if anyone's in it. You just chuck a hook over there. If anything comes back, there was somebody in the bush.
Check a hook. Like how that sounds. It's very musical.
See, there's
Check
like
a hook.
mind game hooks too. It's
Yeah.
like you throw out a zoning hook to make sure that they walk into you so you can dismember them, or that you can use the rest of your team to like kill them, right?
But now you can blink and dismember. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't actually played Pudge since that.
Oh, it's
changed.
fun
You
as
should.
hell. Yeah.
No, it's terrifying. Like, I've played against it many times. I've actually died just because of 6.79 because of that stupid patch. Man,
He can
God.
come here. There's a crib between me and him.
I think it actually happened when we were playing together the other day. I died because a Pudge blinked on me while he was chasing, and I had a blink dagger too.
Right.
But my blink dagger was like almost off cooldown, and no one else could chase me. And then all of a sudden, I just hear "Ree" and blink, and I'm like, no,
It is awesome.
freaking
Best
blink.
patch change. Patch,
Dire's
patch,
middle tower
patch,
is under
patch,
attack.
The Pudge change.
patch, change.
Pudge patch.
Patch.
You don't put enough emphasis on your vowels. Pudge patch.
We only have 5 vowels, like 5 sounds in Spanish. A, E, I, O, U. That's all we got. We can't do anything in between those letters. I mean, we can, but we kind of suck at it.
You gotta be fancy. Brilliant.
You don't
Awesome.
have a V either at all?
No, we do have a V. So I can say Venomancer, but at this point I keep saying Venomancer because it's funnier, and because in Spanish no one will notice the difference.
Right. And Bale of Discord.
Bale of Discord,
Yeah,
like it's so normal that in Spanish no one will notice the difference between these two
Radiant's
sounds,
bottom
even though we
They
do
wouldn't
have them.
Vat an eyelid.
Yes. Butter. Normally it's the V turning into B,
Right.
not the other way around.
Sevilla and places like
Yeah.
that, right? Yeah.
But I don't know.
Sorry, every time somebody opens a bottle over here, I get really paranoid now that somebody's
Well,
just
I
gonna
put
dump
the
it all
cap
over their
on.
laptop.
I don't do what Bruno did. And
Oh
just
yeah, Pyrian's a responsible dad.
rest it
Yeah,
on
no,
its
I'm a
side.
kid.
It's true. And
Put a
it's-
lid on that. I'm going to have to give you a sippy cup, Bruno.
What is a sippy cup?
A sippy
You know
cup.
what a sippy
Okay,
cup
okay,
is?
no, okay. I didn't know, but then I thought it makes sense. It's a cup where you sip. I
Yeah,
never
but
heard.
it's
Yeah, but it
coverage.
has like these.
This
It's
little
fully
thing.
covered with
you
a
can,
lid.
You can really drop it.
You can
Yeah,
turn it upside
you
down
have to
and
suck on
nothing
it to
comes
get it out.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a plastic nipple.
Yes.
Or you can get ones that aren't necessarily.
G. Initiation on the
Way
bottom.
too-
Immediate global silence. They're going for way too. Quakefoot pops the Shiva's guard. They want to reinitiate BKB by Bulba and the lasso and Doom. G getting all the hate in the world right now. Boyer Brain really not able to do much at the moment. He's trying to find a target, but the Marana ulti seeming to keep Liquid in shape for the time being. And now the dive is on from Liquid. Already two down.
Nice.
Vacuum coming out from Light of Heaven, but NS is going to be dropping as well. Light of Heaven trying to retreat into base, being chased down by TC. Surge is there.
Are they
Bulba
stopping?
should
They're
be
not
able to blink
stopping.
in the base. I don't. Oh, blink out. Blow your brain. Pops the rage. And he's going to maybe kill TC.
Nope.
Nope, got a bash, but not enough. And now 4 dead on the side of
Yikes.
DP.
And
Of all the heroes to initiate on, way too. Like, he's got an Ags. He's actually really tanky. He's got a Vlad's on top of that. He has 23 armor before you hit him once.
Didn't yesterday everybody kept going for way two as well, like in every.
Yeah, when he
play?
played Venom.
Yeah.
Trixie, like, had his number the whole game. He's like, we're not going to win, but by God, I'm killing you.
I'm killing you, yeah.
yeah, I mean, to be fair, lasso and
Doom
Doom
on
on one guy is also a little bit too much. But hey, if it works,
Well, he
Well,
was really tanky. I
kill
actually
'em
think
all.
they needed the Doom there because he has another ultimate orb on top of his Hex, so he probably would have lived through just a lasso.
what's he going with the second ultimate orb?
Could be Lincoln's.
Lincoln
that's-
would be nice.
That's really the only thing that I can imagine him making out of that.
He can be Manta. He can be
It
Scotty.
could be Scotty, yeah.
Scotty.
But Scotty is like not good at all here.
No, I
That's
don't
like
think so.
really bad because it doesn't really give you anything that Queen needs at all. If you already had like an MKB or a Daedalus or something, I'd say Scotty's okay.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a right-click item, which, interestingly enough, I think right-click might have been better for him after a Hex this game.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to say, though. Maybe he
Hard to
just
say.
wants to not get hated on that much twice.
Period.
Yes, sir.
33 minutes in. How does it look? Will it survive?
I honestly think that when Liquid, and we've seen this in a couple of games so far, their decision making on the the drop, like just you have half a second to decide, and they just always seem to make the right decision to me. The decision making is awesome.
Oh man, that
he's coming back,
really
he's coming back.
hurts. Yeah,
What?
TC wants to initiate on this. They do not have global silence just yet on Ness. Oh, it just came off cooldown actually as we say that, and here comes the global. But G, he already got arrowed. He's going to be dropping regardless.
Ooh,
Vacuum and wall comes up by Light of
beautiful.
Heaven. Very nicely done, Bulba. He's going to be quitting quite low. Now forced to retreat. NS, he's the one who receives the doom this time. G, he buys back into the game. He's trying to make it back to the fight, but Light of Heaven's running the opposite direction of the rest of his team. And Koikfa, he wants to find Blow Your Brain. He's man fighting with TC right now, and they both die.
He blunk into.
Oh, G, coming in, pops the ulti. Koikfa could be dropping here, but G's committed pretty heavily to this. The damage output from Visage Birds are actually quite high. It's a huge stun lock. Arsar blinks into the third familiar, and he can't get the. He actually got the hex off, but it's an ultra for TC. This is a rampage. Yeah.
Oh.
Shikuchi forward. Arsar's not going to be able to blink out of this. Maybe. Oh, he had it like just. And way too steals the rampage.
Damn, boo, way too. How dare you? BP.
So yeah, I just think Liquid's teammate, like their decision making as a team, and they're just excellent. They always seem to know when to commit, when to go. So I think they're going to win. I was going to say it before this fight, that clearly win in their favor. I just love their decision making. They're very, very clever.
Yeah, and with this, Liquid actually overtakes Navi. They were already third spot, but they put themselves with this win if they win. I mean, they can always.
I think that they kind of are in a really good spot. It would be hard for them to not win.
But even if they win, there's a weird thing going there.
Yeah, what?
It's
a bug.
There's a bug in this.
It's a literal bug.
Go up.
Look at that.
Up the lane. Yes, there.
What?
There. It's a bug.
We don't care about Bulba's initiation.
No.
We only care about the bug in the lane. What is that?
A bugged bugs is what this is.
Hi. Now they have a war
What
to see
the
the bugs.
hell is happening?
It's like a cockroach orgy happening.
It looks way different on his screen too.
It's a roach motel.
Yeah,
Like his looks much different than mine. Mine are just like on LSD. I don't know. Well, anyway,
freaking out. Dang.
interesting stuff.
Ice
So
frog.
I hope
Right
people
now-
know that TV can also see that. Otherwise, it would be really weird.
no, I think they can, because if he can see it from his perspective, then
Yeah.
everyone sees the same thing. I think.
I hope so. That was funny.
Maybe not the exact same thing, but pretty close.
Something like that. BP, they smoke.
They know, man. They just have to find a pick. They can't let Roshan drop to Liquid for sure, and it's going to be respawning pretty darn
Pretty soon, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice timing as well. The bears are sitting there. The bears have full damage, but they don't have a stun. BP just
Double
march
armor
over.
build by Koikfa.
Ah,
He
it's
has
super dead tank.
40 armor, and Bulba,
Oh,
he's going to be the first one to catch. This is actually a really good
Oh, wow.
spot, and the vacuum coming out as well. Blow Your Brain, though, he's stuck inside of his own team's wards, and he ends up dropping. Arsar going to be the next to fall, even though they catch Bulba. The rest
He's
of the
gonna
farm
die.
on Liquid is just too much. Light of Heaven, he's going to be dropping.
wipe.
It's a team wipe, and I think that might have just been the nail in the coffin for VP, at least in this game, because they caught Bulba, which is really nice. You can kill him straight away, no lasso. They even threw out the global. 2 BKBs now on the side of Liquid. Koikfa has one, as does Bulba. And then all of a sudden they just break your global silence,
GG.
which is another weakness. Yeah, I don't blame them at all for that, honestly. I mean, how do you come back from that engagement? You catch ideally one of the best heroes that you're going to ever find in that situation, and then you get 5-man wiped. I think it's just, they had a lot of fights where they didn't perform that well, in my opinion. And then they had questionable mistakes, and I gotta be honest, man, the Doom pick for me, it seemed really, really strong.
It did work very well. And again,
Yeah.
Koikva in a hero that we didn't expect him to just shine so much. We just expect him to tag along. He just controls the game to a point where Liquid just went into a victory.
The thing that hurts the most is once you get past 30 minutes or 25 minutes and you start seeing more and more BKBs, if you prematurely global, like you global before BKBs, BKB remove it.
Yes.
So then it's like, the silencer just didn't really do anything past that point.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that pick. The Shadow Shaman, though, it works because it gave them the 6 towers. Every time they pushed the tower, they got the wards there to make sure they got the towers. But also at the same time, what did the Nest do in that silencer? Get some intelligence, not much.
Not a lot.
Silenced people.
Yeah, shh. By the way, G was very lucky that game. He was 7-7-7.
I don't think that counts as lucky if there are also 7 losses into this tournament.
Yeah, he
boy.
started off pretty well with the double kill top that
Yeah.
he managed to pick off, and it was interesting to see Team Liquid give him a little bit of an advantage when they moved their supports from the bot lane early on. So could have gone either way, really. But again, Team Liquid decision making, item choices, fantastic, always on the point, and their draft was particularly good as well. So Bruno,
Yes,
you excited about what's happening next?
I can't wait. So tell me, what's happening next?
We're going to break, and then when we come back, we're going to figure it out. EG, we're not sure if they're done with the tutorial.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's so hard. I
That
mean,
tutorial actually does take a while. Don't you have to play like 10 games or something?
you have
like
to
that?
play like 10 games versus bots, and then you have to play limited mode, but you only get 20 heroes. It's tough.
It's toughy.
Dreadful.
It's a toughie. But yeah, we'll go to a break. We'll see what's going to happen. We've got admins on site, actually, for the ASUS ROG DreamLeague. I'm getting my money's worth out of that sentence there. So when we come back, we'll find out what's going to happen. But of course, we'll be bringing you the post-game analysis. So see you in just a moment.
It's time to extend your domination. Extend your command precision with an 8200 DPI Pro Aim R3 laser sensor. Extend your atmospherics with a fully customizable 4 LED multicolor lighting system with effects. Extend the life and accuracy of your gaming with the Rocket Titan wheel. The Cone XTD Max Customization Gaming Mouse.